Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andrea Carter.
And if you did not know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. How's it going, Andrea?
It's going great, John. In fact, I'm almost considering having a permanent thing of popcorn next to me because there is so much history going on right now that I can't keep up, but it's a popcorn moment everywhere I turn, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
Actually, it should be a popcorn and frosty moment. No, icy, not frosty, icy. I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
Never cared for
Popcorn.
ices,
Oh, I
actually.
love them. Anytime I go to a certain gas station, I have to when I fill up my gas tank, I have to get an icy as a treat because they're cheap.
Yeah,
They're only like dollar 20, $1.25, $1.29, something like that. That's cheap. I mean, I can get a large for
yeah.
$1.29, and you can't get anything for $1.29 anymore. Large or giant, you
You can get
know.
the Costco hot dog for like around that.
Well, that's true. You can't get the Costco hot dog. But I mean, I mean, if you, but I mean, it's hard to find anything that's, the penny candy went out with the penny. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's a treat. But I always think of dramatic moments. You think of yourself, like in a movie screen,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, give me a handful of popcorn. And I feel
Yeah.
that way whenever I'm watching city council, especially when it gets juicy and they have people protesting. That's a popcorn moment.
Wow.
Or they're having a really interesting argument, popcorn moment. And I
Yeah.
think this week in the news, in life itself, popcorn moment. And some people will start asking me, okay, what topping would you put on the popcorn? Um, I would say right now, because everything is so hot and spicy, it would have to be salt and pepper,
Mm.
heavy on the pepper, or
Yeah.
maybe go a little bit heavier with a maybe chili flakes or something, just
Ooh.
something to make it a little spicy. Because think about it, everything that happened this week is spicy,
Uh,
or it's just interesting affecting life. So,
oh,
um,
so what is this? I guess I gotta say, what is this spicy chocolate news this
okay,
week?
the spicy chocolate news this week, um, well, really, what just occurred? Arizona's Senate voted to repeal the 1864 abortion ban. And they're sending it now to the governor's desk to make it legal. Um, it, they're repealing the strict Civil War abortion ban that did not allow anything. The state Supreme Court ruled that it had been enforceable, all that type of stuff. But now the government is going to the governor's desk to sign it into law as being repealed. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the GOP does next to try and stop abortions in Arizona and try and make it criminal. That's the other thing. They're going to try and make it criminal.
Of
But
course they
right
are.
now they repealed it. It will take effect in 90 days. 90 It will take effect 90 days after the legislative session ends. Their legislative session ends June 30th. So 90 days from that. So that's going to be about what, September?
Yeah, probably around that.
Yeah, the end of September, the ban will take effect. So yay for Arizona.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but the fact that they were that desperate to find an 1864 law that was that restrictive is unbelievable to
Yeah.
use in modern today. It's just, I was like, people wake up. But
Yeah.
anyway, so another little spicy thing that I think if everyone watched television last night, on whether you're watching one of the mega news channels, whether it was, I guess, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, everyone who streamed last night had this on. Um, the police going into Columbia University and arresting the protesters that took over Hamilton Hall, and then also the arrested those in the encampment and at City College. Today, it was announced that over 300 protesters, were arrested last night in New York.
Wow.
And basically, the from the statement that was released by Columbia University, they basically said, look, you know, at the end of the day, it's business. We told them don't break any laws. We honor your right to protest for your speech, but you can't, threaten and vandalize, which they did. They broke a window in Hamilton Hall. They threatened one of the workers. I think it was one of the workers that works in the building. They evicted the private security, well, the security that was in the building. They covered up all the cameras. They
Mm.
blocked all the doors on the first floor. So the university on Monday gave the students until 2 p.m. to leave. They didn't leave. So by Tuesday morning, they're consulting a lot of people, and by Tuesday night, they're told that they invited because NYPD cannot go on the campus.
Mm-hmm.
They invited NYPD to come on the campus and please take care of the situation, and they did. And then everyone who realized the police were coming in left, went down 20 blocks to the City College and started protesting down at City College. And basically NYPD was like, no, you're not doing that either. So that's the reason why I think about 110 were arrested, or a little bit more than that were arrested at Columbia. The rest were arrested down at City College. And from what initial reports said, 70 people who were initially arrested at Hamilton Hall, 70 of them were even Columbia students.
Wow.
Yes. So but also protests erupted at UC Berkeley, where classes were canceled today because of violence that erupted. There were a dozen people were arrested in Wisconsin at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, um, and they were moved on to disassemble. There were other protests around the country, a little bit here and there, and so that is what's happening real quick. So, I think I admire everyone for protesting. I admire people standing up for the Palestinians, but at the end of the day, the decision on what's going to happen is between Netanyahu and Hamas. The US can influence it with Biden trying to deal with Netanyahu, but Biden's getting fed up too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think basically they may the US and the allies may have to back off and be like, okay, it's on you.
It's not a
Because
war.
it's not war now, it's almost genocide. And you can't, just because they want to get rid of you doesn't mean you have the right to get rid of them. And I think people need to take a step back. I admire the protesting. I stand for humanity, but at the same time, the decision is not in US hands. The decision is in Netanyahu's hands and Hamas hands. And I think we need to take that energy and figure out how can we get help to the Palestinian people so they're not starving and they're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think time will be better spent, and recognize that, take care of what you can, and then, your voice is being heard around the world. But anyway, so there's that. So the next popcorn moment is, um, you know, the evolution of marijuana in this country amazes me.
Yeah.
Um, it's still illegal for now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it- well, on a federal level, yes.
yes,
Kinda.
on kinda. I
Yeah,
mean,
kinda. It's mixed. It's
it
mixed.
depending on what it is.
Yeah.
But the Biden administration is moving to reclassify marijuana so that federally the use of the medical use of cannabis will be recognized as not illegal.
Just medical, huh?
Just the medical use, yeah.
Ugh. Uh,
You know,
just
it's
just when I'm starting to warm up to Biden a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it they're going to make it a less dangerous drug. I mean, it's still dangerous. It will affect your memory and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
but basically, and you think about all the cancer patients who use marijuana to help ease their pain. You know, they will benefit from this reclassification more so than anything else. There will be less potential for abuse. It won't be seen as a dangerous drug, even though for years we have a number of movies where, people try to smuggle in marijuana. Now, at least in Ohio, you can grow it. Well, no, you can't grow it. No, you can
Well, no,
you
no,
can have a
you can grow it, not much, but you
it's
can
only
grow your
what,
own
six,
personal.
right.
I
You can what, do 6 plants, 7 plants? I can't
maybe
remember.
it's something like that. I can't remember either.
I'm but from a medical standpoint, having spoken with people who have used marijuana because they had cancer and it helped ease the I guess the ache, the pain, the from cancer, it really smooths things out. That's what they tell me. It's better than a pain drug, pain medicine, I should say.
Hmm.
So that's happening. So we'll see how they're gonna um basically right now it's classified as a Schedule 1 drug alongside heroin and LSD.
Mm.
They possibly are going to move it to a Schedule 3 drug to make it like ketamine, some anabolic steroids. So it's like it's still a drug. It's just going to downgrade it just to make it a little bit more acceptable from a health and humanity perspective to help people.
Just real quick, I still find it like so funny how because you said it's a Schedule 1 drug, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it said. So I think Schedule 2, I was just looking at a list the other day. I think meth is Schedule 2 and
Oh,
cocaine. So how meth and cocaine is somehow like less deadly than marijuana will always make me laugh.
I couldn't explain that one. Other than I can think of is that somebody somewhere was using and said, we need to make this a little less potent federally. Let's make this Schedule 2 instead of Schedule 1. You never know. I mean,
I know the whole schedule. I know marijuana. I could go on a tangent about that, but
oh,
I'm just saying, it's just like it doesn't need to be Schedule 1 like anymore. That's the thing of the past,
it should have been
So,
Schedule 1 since the beginning of 20, mid 2000s.
oh
So,
yeah, definitely, it should be out of that category. It really
yeah,
should.
I mean, it's just it's just think of where it's come from the 60s to now. Oh my God.
No, yeah. Oh,
You
by
know.
the way, if you want a good laugh, watch Reefer Madness.
Oh
It's
my
like a
God.
film. It's a film from the 30s and it shows the dangers of marijuana. And it's a good movie to watch and just take a giggle and say, "Oh my God, we America used to be like this."
Oh my God. Well, I mean,
Uh,
they're unfortunately though they are lacing stuff with marijuana to
yeah,
make it much
that's
more deadly.
yeah.
Um, so
Well,
to
we'll see. That should be even more incentive then, so people don't have to go to the black market to get it.
Yes,
It's just like go, because Ohio. Well, I'm sorry. Since it passed in Ohio and like Cincinnati and stuff, I've seen like more marijuana shops open up and everything, and it's
yes.
just it's easy because it's easy access. People who really need it to relieve pain, they don't have to get hooked up, hopped up on pills and everything. And, it's just, it makes things easier. It just does.
Well, I think it also is going to make it easier for those who have dispensaries. They could put their money in the bank now.
Yeah,
If this
which is
happens,
great.
yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, their money could be seized right now,
Oh, yeah.
even though so.
Yeah.
And then people who produce it, you know, if you produce it right now, well, it's still illegal to produce it, but it's a bumper crop.
Yeah.
It's not too hard on soil. It People, you can grow it, and
Yeah.
it's just easy, and I think a lot of people will benefit from it down the road.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you
And
can get it freely in Amsterdam, so
yeah, and we want to get the conservatives on this. It provides jobs. So,
yes,
I'm just saying, you're on a whole like job saying business. So I'm just saying,
and think of the entrepreneurs.
yeah,
This
exactly.
is a whole new business.
Oh yeah.
You could grow it so far and then be like, okay, what else can we do? And this
Yeah.
it's a whole new business.
Yeah.
So,
Stimulates the economy. Win-win, baby.
oh
Win-win.
yeah, I mean, think of all the tax base. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's a good win. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. So next, I saw this the other day on LinkedIn. The assistant city manager, Virginia Talent, did this in a post, and there's a number of news articles on it. The Cincinnati Recreation Commission is going to be opening up their pools for
Yay.
the summer, and they're not going to budget. They're actually going to open up 24 city pools this year. They have staffing. They still have a little staffing shortage, but they have worked hard to fill all the lifeguard positions with the pools. They still looking for more lifeguards, but they have been able to staff enough community pools this year that they're going to open up 24 pools.
Well, that's
Um,
great.
and the hashtag lingo is 24 and 24, which I think is really cute. I think that's wonderful. They did the announcement because, I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, in 2022, they were only able to open up 3 pools for Memorial Day weekend. And then they
Mm-hmm.
opened up 5 additional pools, but they had a lifeguard shortage. This year, 3 pools will open on Memorial Day weekend, with 17 opening the following weekend, and then the final 4 pools will open on the weekend of June 10th. So they're going to stagger the openings. But by the time June 10th comes around, we'll have 24 pools open, which I think is fantastic. They did a press conference on it. They applauded. They made an effort to recruit and hire lifeguards or kids to be trained as lifeguards. So I think commend the city on getting it right this time.
Yeah.
And, I hope a lot of our young people who know how to swim or learn how to swim are working as lifeguards. And I think it's a great way to make money for the summer, watch the kids play, you have a whistle, you sit up there, look authoritative, and just be on the lookout, make sure no one drowns. But I think it's fantastic. It's wonderful. Congratulations, City of Cincinnati, on that.
Yeah.
Um, then another thing that's happening, and um, I don't think a lot of people, if you drive down Liberty Street, you might not really pay attention to this church. It is a Catholic church. Yeah, it's St. Francis Seraph Church, which unfortunately they are the focal point of what has been known for a long time as the focal point of where people hang near an open air drug market. Now, Greener Republic Street in northern OTR has always been a place of drugs being sold, or people using drugs, or the homeless and other low income people sit out, hang out. It's different places in OTR North have been the front door of OTR for this section. But things have gotten so bad and so outrageous, they're going to shut Green Street down to sort of try and get rid of the open air drug market. But how St. Francis Seraph is the center point of all this. St. Francis had a policy of like they would have the church open during the day, and then those who were homeless could go in. If it was cold, go in, sit, rest, get warm, use the bathroom. But they would have a place to stay out of the cold for a while if they couldn't find someplace else to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would shut the doors at 5 p.m. Well, things started getting really, really outrageous and what was happening, and I think some things were getting vandalized or broken. So the church finally said enough is enough. They shut the door, and they had security there to keep people out. So people still sleep. The homeless still sleep on the ground, on the outside, at night. and it's like a little party down there. And basically, they have decided to barricade. I'm sorry, not Green Street, Republic Street. I always get my cross streets wrong down there. Green Street runs between Race and Vine, and Republic runs along is a side street that intersects with Green, but runs is a short street that runs between a side street to Liberty, off of, I think it's is it Elder Street? I think it's Elder Street. It's another side street, but Green and Republic intersect. And it's always been an area of crime. And so they're gonna block off Republic, which runs along, between within is it two almost 3 block length. It runs sideline between Race and Vine, and ends right at St. Francis Seraph. So basically, they're trying to clear out this area and basically force people to go someplace else,
Hmm.
because it's gotten really bad and people live there. There are apartment houses are in that area, and so there have been a number during the day. It used to people complain about the crowds during the day, and then between community groups and the police, they've worked to lessen the crowds during the day. They finally got that down, so everyone started gathering at night, and the crowds at night have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And the people can't get any sleep who live around there. Just think of the trauma they've gone through trying to go to sleep, and they're hearing loud music and people talking and laughing and doing God knows what, people selling stuff illegally. So this is the reason why they're going to shut it down. They're going to shut it down in May, unless they haven't done it already, for 6 months. So I think you'll be able to drive through Green, but you won't be able to drive on Republic.
Yeah.
And it's a way to clean up that area. And you know, on Republic also you have a couple of service organizations that that have headquarters there, and I think they're still going to be able to operate, but you won't be able to drive to them. You're going to have to walk in and go from there and make sure people don't sleep or stay or things like that. So that is what's going to happen, because it's just out of control. It has become a health issue.
Hmm.
So just be on the lookout. And I think we'll hear good things down the road on that. Then, you know, I have high hopes for the Cincinnati Reds. I really do. Um, you know, I have yet to go to a game and see this guy play, but I got to see him play. Ellie De La Cruz. He doesn't take time off. He just loves to play. He's doing really well for the Cincinnati Reds, and he did something extraordinary on Monday. On Monday, the Reds were playing San Diego Padres,
Mm-hmm.
which the Reds won 5-2, by the way.
Yay.
And and he, they were the Reds were in the field, and De La Cruz was throwing a baseball, and basically it was the fastest thrown ball ever, of 106.9 miles per hour.
That's really fast.
In fact, some people comment that if you look at the video, well, I shouldn't say video, but look at the broadcast, you couldn't see it. That's how
Wow.
fast he was. It was in it happened in the ninth inning. He was throwing the ball to the first baseman, Jameer Candelaro, and Candelaro could not even get his glove up in time to catch the ball. That's how fast he threw it.
Wow.
And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm picturing a hole through his hand, but no, he couldn't catch it, which caused an error. So basically, he threw the fastest ball in history, but it was an error, which went against the Reds, but actually the Reds won. So, it worked out. But this guy is like, he's making the Reds contenders, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, okay, I really have to go buy a new red shirt now, because I only have a hat, and that hat is old, and I
Yeah.
refuse to buy something until I saw, support my Reds, but
Yeah.
I need to see some sign of life. Seeing signs of life now. We got to go see. I got to go see this guy. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
most definitely. I got a game. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go to a Reds game this year. I already got my tickets. Now granted I'm only going because Nelly is playing afterwards, but still though, I'm going to a baseball game, so I can't wait to go.
oh, it's. I cannot wait to go. I cannot wait to see this guy play. Because I mean, yes, watch it on television, have a beer, enjoy it, all that type stuff. But you know what? In person, I always love it when I go to a baseball game in person. There's so much more um, passion. There's so much more poetry about
Hmm.
baseball. I mean, it's the slowest game seen on television, but in person, it's fascinating to watch them, who runs, who hits, who plays, who's going to hit, be a pinch hitter, how the uniforms look on them. Oh, that's just me. Um, but I mean, it's just like to see the personalities,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. So I think, and then be entertained by the organ player and other stuff that's going on as you go through the game to keep everyone entertained and involved. So I I like baseball. So and last but not least, 45. Don't we say
Oh,
45? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Did
I'll,
didn't we
I'll
didn't we say last time Tales from the Courtroom or something like that?
Oh yes, as Trump turns or something like that. Or
Yeah.
no, no. Well, Tales from the Courtroom.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Well, so a couple of things that are occurring right now. Um, the latest thing is Trump got his hand slapped by the judge. He found in contempt for 9 charges of violating the gag rule, and he had to take those posts down immediately, because it violated the gag rule, and he was fined $9,000. Now, the judge, Judge Merchan, who I think he must have iron steel in his blood to have put up with a lot from Trump, and basically, he told him that if you violate any more, you then will go to jail.
Mm.
Now, whether that would be for the rest of the time of the trial, will it be like a few hours here, a few hours there? But basically, the judge is like, we're not playing. And basically, the lawyers have probably told him, stop tweeting. I mean, you don't even know who's going to be on the next on the witness list because of how much Trump has done to, people are in fear of their lives because they're part of any of his cases. Because those who follow him retaliate and threaten and all this type of stuff to the witnesses. So trying to keep everyone safe, trying to honor the court, the due process of law, and you have a man like this who is used to being in control of the narrative, and he can't control crap. So it's very, very interesting to see what happens. And there is another contempt hearing coming up for other charges of violating the gag rule as well. And it's kind of like, and Trump's legal team tried to counter the charges, claiming that he's reacting to political attacks. And so the judge said, okay, present the attacks, give examples. Why couldn't they give examples? So that's what's going on. And in the nutshell, um, also with this case, they are finding that how the prosecution was able to um, falsify business records related to reimbursing Cohen for these hush money payments to Stormy Daniels and also another woman. Everyone thought this was a weak case. Come to find out, the prosecution has is carefully laying out the playbook of campaign interference, of how Trump continues to operate in campaign interference. And it all began with Stormy Daniels.
Mm.
And so, and everyone's realizing as people testify, they're like, oh crap. Oh, he could go to jail if the jury finds him guilty. So it's just interesting. So as I said, this is a popcorn moment week for chocolate news, but that's all I got right now. Maybe next week I'll have mega butter on my popcorn. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Maybe I'll get some kettle corn.
Oh, kettle corn.
I
Yeah, we
do.
haven't reached kettle corn yet, but right now it's just basic movie butter popcorn.
Okay, well, that's it for today's show. I want to thank Andrea again for all of that good chocolate news. Oh, that good spicy chocolate news. I'm sorry.
Yes, spicy chocolate news. Yes, yes.
And remember, folks, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.cincinnatiherald.com, the Session newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. I'm John Alexander Reese,
And I'm Andrea Carter.
and have a good day.